All right, Wednesday the 20th, we're back to lower body. We have lateral lunge to liberty, frog jumps, weighted pistol squat, straight leg deadlift to narrow squat, and then for part two, we have regular skaters. So lateral lunge to liberty is gonna look like this. Lateral lunge, stand. Lateral lunge, stand, okay? So when I stand like that, I'm coming here, okay? Frog jump. Weighted pistols. So you would hold your weights. Okay, that's your one-legged sit and stand, which of course you can do with no weight. Lateral to liberty, you can add weight. And straight leg deadlift to narrow squat. Straight leg deadlift to narrow squat. Straight leg deadlift. Okay, and then part two, we have skaters to a timer, which is the bounding skaters, okay? All right, lateral lunge to liberty. So as I said, you can do this with or without weight. I'm pretty sure I did mine with weight. I just held one in my hand and I did the crossover method. You don't have to use weight. So I know we've talked about lateral lunges before. So this is the lunge where you step out and your butt sinks diagonal back, okay? So you're here like this. When you come up, you're gonna push off your leg and you're gonna hit a liberty stand, okay? Which is this. If you have to between each one, you can go back down. So lateral, ooh, too much power, liberty, down, one. Lateral, liberty, down, two. Or I like to just go from one to the other. So I go here, then I hit. Then I go here, hit, here, hit, okay? If you cannot do that part, you can just do a regular lateral. Or if you have something that you can hold on to, when you start, and then when you come up, you can kind of just reach out and grab it, you can do that. Frog jumps. So this is like a squat jump, but instead of coming from here, you're coming all the way from the ground. So you're gonna open up your stance, point your feet a little bit outward, and you're going to squat and touch the ground and jump from there, okay? So you're just jumping from a different point. So you touch, jump, touch, jump, touch, jump. If you need to go slower, touch, jump, touch, jump, touch, jump. If you can't jump, you can hit a sumo squat. So it would still be wide stance, toes pointed out, and just hit your sumo squat. Pistol squats, weighted. So I'm gonna show you without the weight. And then obviously with these ones, to add weight, you just grab a pair of dumbbells. So with your pistol squat, you're gonna use a chair. And what you're doing is essentially sitting and standing with only one leg, okay? So this is a modified pistol squat. A real pistol squat is when people, and I cannot do it, but when people do this, and then they stand back up without holding on to anything. So they're basically out here, and they go like that, okay? So I cannot do them. So we practice modified ones. If you find that you can go ahead and do those, okay? And if I did not show a good demonstration, just Google pistol squat. It's a big thing in like CrossFit, or if you watch the CrossFit Games, or maybe if you've seen it on TikTok, it could be a trend, but it is really, you have to have really good mobility in your ankles and in your hips and really in your knees to be able to do that. So we practice this version. So you're going to just start on whatever leg you want. I'm gonna start on my right. And it might take you a minute to figure out the distance between your butt and the chair, but you're going to lift the other leg off the ground. You're going to nicely sit in your chair, and then you're going to stand. And then when you stand, if you want to tap your toe on the ground, that's fine. One, to lift off the ground, sit, stand, two, Sometimes I try to do it where I never tap the ground if I've got good enough balance, like right now, it's working. Okay, so the thing is, you never want to plop down and you don't want to rock up, because both of those things are breaking the tension on your muscle, okay? So you want to work whatever leg that you're on. Like for me, right, I want to work it on the way down when I'm nice and controlled, and then I want to use it on my way up. If I just flop down, I didn't really use any muscles, I used gravity. If I rock up, now I'm using motion to get up and not my leg. So it can be difficult, which is why, like, if you don't want to use weight and you just want to try with nothing, that's totally fine. And when I come up, I always kick out to the side. So this is what mine looks like from the front. I lift my leg out, I sit, and then when I come up, I always go like this. Sometimes I tap, sometimes I don't. I sit, and I always kick out to the side. It's almost like, I don't know, maybe like moving it to the side gives me like the false feeling of having like the other leg on the ground. I don't know, but I feel like I don't do it as well if I just come up right in front. I always feel more stable if I kick out to the side. So I don't know, you can try both ways. And then again, if you want to add the weight, all you're gonna do is just hold a pair of dumbbells. So this one, sometimes I like to do it with a light pair of dumbbells because it makes me feel a little bit more balanced and not as wobbly. But you don't need to go like heavy with it. If you want to just try it with a 5 in each hand, that's totally fine. Still adding 10 pounds to your body weight. And then our straight leg deadlift and narrow squat. So I know I have talked about straight leg deadlifts. I know I've talked about swings. They're both really similar, where you have the hinge motion at the hip, your butt goes to the wall, your back folds but is straight, and you come to about your shin, okay? So that's your straight leg deadlift. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our deadlift right into a squat. Now I'm calling it a narrow squat because usually when I straight leg deadlift, I have a narrow stance with my feet. So when you go down, you're already in a narrow squat stance. So you're gonna go straight leg deadlift, stand up, narrow squat, stand. 1, straight leg deadlift, squat. 2, straight leg deadlift, squat. 3. So that one's pretty simple, and I really like putting them together because if you were previously confused about a deadlift versus squat, this one doing back and back together, you can really tell the difference. So if you're doing it and you don't notice any difference, that means that you're probably doing a squat both times. So you can watch yourself in the mirror, or like I said, you should be able to feel it. The first time your butt should be going back, your hips should be going back. The second time your butt and hips should be going down. Okay, so one of them goes back, one of them goes down. So if you did this just now and are like, oh shoot, I went down both times, then you know that you're not doing your straight leg deadlift correctly, okay? And on to our part 2, which is skaters. So you're gonna set your timer, you're gonna pick 25 seconds, 27 seconds, 30 seconds, 35 seconds, whatever it is on, we're all gonna rest for 30 seconds and we're doing it 4 times. So our regular skaters are the bounding skaters. So they look like this, okay? So you bound across and you almost land in like a curtsy lunge, except your back leg is straight. So when we do our regular curtsy, we come diagonal back, but we're at a 90-90. When you do your skater and you land, your front leg is 90, your back leg is more straight. So it is slightly bent, but it's more straight, okay? And then the in-between bound just looks like this, okay? So you're gonna do a big bound, 90 straight, big bound, 90 straight, big bound, okay? Now, if you cannot do those big bounds, you can do it similarly to what I was just showing. You can do a much weaker version, or some people step, then they get down, step, then they get down, step, down, step, down, okay? But with this, you are going to lean more forward than you would with a curtsy lunge. Your back is gonna come down more. You still don't want it to be super rounded, So the lower that you are, the better it is. So if you're somebody who wants to do, because when you jump and you land really low, okay? If you're going to just step and touch, you don't want to do this. Look how much I'm rounding my back, okay? You don't want to do that. If you're going to step and touch, you want to step and you still want to get low. So see how much straighter my back is versus this, okay? So you'll know what feels right to you. I remember doing these in the gym, and we would do them for like 8 rounds, and people's backs would be killing. And it's because everybody's way up here, and then they're folding all the way down, and their back is just round and round and round. You want to be down here so you get that more straight line instead of this, okay? So anytime that you're trying to avoid a round back, that usually involves lowering your butt. The lower that your butt is, or the lower that your body is to the ground, the less round your back has to be. The higher your body is, and the more you're trying to reach, the more round you're gonna have. Sorry, there's so many cars driving by, and I think I've said this in other videos, like we are at the end of a dead end. So anytime like anybody drives by, I'm always like, who is that and what do they want? All right, and it doesn't help because I have 3 windows right here. So I'm always like looking at them and talking. Anyways, that's your skaters, and that is Wednesday the 20th.